I was thinking about something, and it just reminded me of how much it's so important to watch how we say things. So, for instance, I don't know if a lot of you know that I had high blood pressure for many years. I was diagnosed when I was 25. And I also was taking medication for a long time. The last time, right before I stopped taking medication, I was on 2 medications. And it got me to thinking about how I was told well before I was 25, like ever since I was a kid, that my grandmother had high blood pressure, my mom had high blood pressure, so I'm going to get it too because it's in genetics. It's just genetics. But that was it. And I don't doubt at all that a doctor or somebody in the healthcare field told my grandmother that, who told my mom that, who told me that. And I had that in my head, ingrained in my head for a long time. So when I even got of age, it was always in my head, like, oh, I'm going to get high blood pressure anyway. And so come to find out, while that is partially true, that it is partially genetic, it's not all the way true. It's not a definite, that's another thing I was told. You'll be on blood pressure medication your whole life. That's not exactly true at all. If you take care of yourself, if you change your eating habits, your lifestyle, no smoking, and you really take care of your health, that doesn't have to be your destiny. And I am just like thinking to myself, is that still something that people are told? Are people told that, oh yeah, your parents had high blood pressure, so you're going to get it too? Is there any other conversation other than that? Is there a conversation about lifestyle changes will make a difference in your diagnosis? You don't have to be on blood pressure medication forever, or you can change your lifestyle and turn it around for yourself. Or even so that, hey, before you even get to that, diagnosis, the conversation when you go to checkups as a teenager, oh, I see you have a family history of high blood pressure. That you could very well get it because in your genes there is, a possibility genetically that you can get it. But because if you have a better lifestyle and if you do X, Y, Z, you could prevent it from happening to you or getting diagnosed with it. I don't remember conversations like that when I was coming up. And that bothers me because I felt for a long time that was just going to be my destiny. No matter what I did or what I tried, I was just going to have high blood pressure. And also diabetes. I thought I was going to have that too, no matter what I did, because I trusted my doctor. And please don't get me wrong. I'm not saying don't trust your doctor, but you need to trust yourself enough to do more research and to, ask more questions. Ask more questions when it pertains to your health and things that you're told and things that you grew up with, because there's really no excuse now. I'm not saying that the internet is everything, but I mean, it's a whole lot more than what I had when I was coming up as a kid or as a young adult. You can find out so much more information now than you could back then. So it would really be ignorant of anyone who has the ability to find out information regarding their health, not to look it up and ask questions on what you find. I always look up things nowadays, and when I do have doctor's appointments, which is not as often anymore because I'm not on blood pressure medication anymore, thank God. But when I do have to go to the doctor for whatever reason, I'm asking questions because I want to get their opinion, and I want them to see that I'm advocating for myself and I'm not just willing to lay down and just take any pill or any potion or any shot. You have to be your biggest advocate. So, it was just something I was thinking about, because I think about people that are coming up and that are growing up and maybe have had family members that had blood pressure issues or things like that. Are they still being told this kind of stuff? Are they being told, hey, there's a way that you can prevent from this happening? Because it is so irresponsible and dangerous to tell young people or whomever that, you know, it's black and white. This is how it is. You're never going to be able to be out of this situation medically because it's inherited or it's a genetic thing, you know. And we all know that, you know, natural remedies, unless they're coming from a holistic coach or a nurse practitioner or someone who really advocates for natural health, that these conversations aren't being had, you know, not as much as they should. So that's why I think it's so important for not only doctors, but people like myself and people that have been able to successfully get off medications and help themselves to share their story and be transparent if they care enough. And I know I do, because it's just in my nature to give information, not be a gatekeeper. I was raised that way. I will continue to be that way. I finally found my passion, and this is it. My ebook that is coming out is so much of a testimony of my own experience and what I found and learned to be true for myself as a regular person, living life, trying to figure life out and trying to figure my health out. I just really think it's such a valuable tool for everybody to have, especially if you have any kind of anxiety about going to a doctor and not having any kind of information or any kind of research that you've been able to do yourself, because, you know, it could be intimidating. It could be, there's even such thing called white coat syndrome. And if you find a good doctor, somebody who listens to you, who seems to have your best interest at heart, that's gold, and that's wonderful. Especially if you already have existing conditions, you're able to open up to your doctor and they'll give you some solid advice. It's not sitting in a waiting room for 30 minutes only to have a 10 to 15 minute doctor's appointment. You know, they're really going to advocate for you, and that's a blessing. That's great. You know, but you always want to be equipped with information that you found out on your own, and, you know, take everything with a grain of salt. So Break Every Chain is an amazing transformation tool for anyone who's pre-diabetic, type 2 diabetic, high blood pressure, even autoimmune diseases, sugar addicts, just a person who wants to clean up their diet, their nutrition. They're concerned with maybe with the foods that they eat that comes in bags and boxes with barcodes. They want to eat more of a whole food diet. They want to ramp up their nutrition. Maybe it's a woman who's 35 plus, 40 plus, and they're concerned with their hormones being out of whack and wanting to see why they're not able to lose weight. Why are they not able to break plateaus? Why are they yo-yo dieting? They're doing all the things, right? And it's just not coming together. All of those things affect us. And I just love the fact that I was able to put something together that everybody in those situations and even more can benefit from. And not just women, men as well. There's a mind and body connection that nobody really talks about when it comes to our metabolic health. I know for me, dealing with outside forces and things in the environment had a lot to do with my health. It had a lot to do, a direct effect on my health and how I treated myself, how I cared for myself. There was times I was so busy caring for everybody else that I just neglected myself. There was times I was in relationships and I would neglect myself and forget about my goals and the routine that I set for myself that was working, because I lost sight of what I was doing because I got comfortable, or maybe I got to a certain weight. And you're an adult. You need to continue what you're doing, continue on the journey and the path of being healthy, especially even if you're in maintenance. You probably loosen the grip a little bit, but you still have your core values and the things that you need to get back to. No, not me. Back then, I would get to a certain point where I would lose some weight. I'm feeling snatched. I'm feeling good. And mind you, I never really got to where I really felt like I wanted to, where I felt with my mind. My mind and my body wasn't connected the way it should have been. And that's when, relationships come and you're having a great time and you're doing the most, and you lose sight of your goals and the things that you need to do for yourself to keep yourself healthy and keep going. And then if that relationship ended, then here I am, 30 pounds heavier again, depressed, anxious, wondering where did I go wrong, shame, disappointment. And I got sick of that. I got sick of that feeling. I got sick of feeling like that and feeling helpless. And not only that, starting over, the older we get, the harder it is to pick up where we left off. You can do it. You can definitely do it. But I tell you right now, I am not looking forward ever to starting over again what I have going now. You get to a point when you really dig deep and deal with your mind and confront the issues that have been holding you back and suppressing you, and you start breaking those chains. That's when you will see that you are stronger than you know. You can keep your new lifestyle and love it and live in it and thrive. I know that is one of the biggest issues I had. I had to find a way to connect my mind and my body and my goals, set boundaries for not only myself, but for others especially, and not lose sight of my journey. Even in maintenance, you have to always keep that foundation solid. And I'm not saying that there will be times that you will maybe be really laxed, or you may have a plateau, or you may backslide a little bit and have some things you shouldn't have sugar-wise and things like that more often than you should. But when you have a foundation, and that's, I think, the main core of my program, is that when you have the foundation, you know how to bounce back and you know how to get back on track without it being months and months in between, or even weeks in between. You know what you need to do to get yourself back together. And I know that was a missing piece for my life. And if you're anything like me, then that's probably what was the missing link for yours as well. So in my book, I address those things and I show you a blueprint how to get back on track, how to get back to yourself, and how to stop yo-yo dieting, saying no to the yo-yo, and to not continually get stuck in plateaus. I've had 7 to 10 people in my intermittent fasting challenge group lose 10 to 13 pounds in 2 weeks. And that is such an amazing thing, because I've done it. When I first started, I helped my mom lose 20 pounds and get off of insulin shots. But it's different when it's people that you don't know and people that you don't see on a regular basis. And it proved to me that anybody can do this on their own. I wasn't there with them every day. I wasn't there, walking with them, or, making sure they were, sticking to what they said they were going to eat that week, or things like that. We were all online, and they were amazing. They did an amazing job. One of my friends, she lost weight and 13 pounds, and she hadn't seen the number that she sees now in years. And she can't believe that it's even possible what she did. But she did it. So it just goes to show that you could do anything you put your mind to. And if you continue to follow me and get to know me, I hope that you do pick up Break Every Chain, because it is transformational. I love information, but it's even better when it's transformational. I sell transformation, not just information. So that being said, continue to follow, continue to watch my lives. All of that is just a passion of mine that I love. So I think about it a lot, but even more so now that I've come out with my own product to share, that I've come out with something that is my baby, that I'm sharing with everyone.